What's up friends, welcome to Sketchy Tech, and on today's episode we're going to hit you with a little mic review. That's right, we're going to be taking a look at the Fifine K678. Is this one of the best budget microphones you can get your hands on? Let's check it out. Hey friends, today we're unboxing the Fifine K678. The microphone comes in a sleek looking cubed box that opens up like a treasure chest. Inside, as expected, you find your user manual, which we'll toss away, and you lift up the form-fitting foam to see the contents of the box. First off, we have the mic thread screw adapter, and then we have our power cable, I suspect is in there. And now let's lift out the microphone to see how it looks. It's got a nice weight to it, and setting it up is super easy. A swivel of the stand and the mic is up. On the back or front, or whichever way you want to call it, we have two buttons. One is your microphone gain button that allows you to adjust your gain, and then a headphone volume button. On the real front of the microphone, the end that you're talking to, you'll find a mute button, the Fifine logo, and an LED power indicator. Diving back into the box now, we'll take a look at our USB cable. As I mentioned, it's a 2-meter long cable and very nicely put together with metallic ends and the Fifine logo. Underneath you'll find two ports, one 3.5mm headphone jack and then your USB plug-in for your cable. In the middle you'll find a thread port that'll allow you to mount the microphone on a boom arm or anywhere else you wish. Quick look now at our technical specs. We have a frequency response of 40 Hz up to 20,000 kHz, a sensitivity rating of -45 dB up to 3 dB at 1 kHz, a maximum SPL of 130 decibels, and a signal to noise ratio of 85 dB. The dimensions of the microphone, all with the stand: a diameter of 58mm, a height of 200mm, a weight of a whopping 708 grams, and a 16mm diaphragm, which is a medium-sized diaphragm. So that is the unboxing done. I had a lot of fun doing that. Probably one of the most fun products I've unboxed in a long time. Right, so as we said, this is a USB cardioid pattern condenser microphone. Cardioid pattern being it will only pick up from the front of the microphone, so nothing really gets picked up at the back, not directly at least. Let's loosen this. So what you're hearing now is my voice from the front, and as I rotate the microphone, you'll hear that my voice should probably start to change until you get to about here. And whatever you're hearing now, if it sounds echoey, that's because it's bouncing off just about all the walls in the room first and then getting picked up by the microphone in front. So that's why it sounds so awful. Now we turn it back slowly but surely and you'll hear it start to become clearer, and there we go. It should be more direct sounding, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is your cardioid pattern. A little bit about the features on the microphone. As you can see, we have these two buttons over here, and that's because, as you would have seen in the unboxing, we have the connecting cable that comes in over here, and on the opposite side you can connect your headphones so you can hear yourself back. This doesn't interfere with your recording, so you have one button on top here that you can adjust your gain on, and that'll be the gain going to your recording, and then the bottom one is the headphone volume, so you can turn that up or turn it down. You can hear more of yourself or less of yourself, and that doesn't affect your recording at all. So those are cool little features. Whether you would use them every day or not, it's up to you and how you operate, but I think it's really cool that they've included them and given you the option of whether you want to use them or not. Very quickly, I'm just going to outline my immediate pros and cons for this little microphone. We'll start with the pros, and I'm going to talk about the build quality off the bat because it is just really good. I mean, the stand is so sturdy, this microphone's never going to topple over. The buttons and the turning knobs feel good, and the weight of the microphone with this matte black finish is just mwah. For the price point, and we're going to get to that in a second, the amount of features and control that you have over this microphone I think is really good. Usually you're a lot more limited, and Fifine's really gone out to give you all that they can. Pertaining to the build quality, I have to also give props to this little mesh cage over here. You get mesh cages on nearly all microphones, but they are not all equal. I've used the microphone a couple of times this week, and the plosives are really kept at bay with this little cage. Let's do a little Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper. I would be an absolute fool if I didn't mention to you the great benefit of this connecting cable. It is so long, even in the setup that I'm using here today. The cable runs all the way down the back here and connects to my laptop all the way around there, and there's enough play for, like, I could be a lot further away. So it's excellent. That extra length cable just makes this microphone a lot more convenient in terms of what you can do and where you can take it. The sound on this microphone is good. I've been using this entire video, so hey, you can be the judge of that, but I find it to be very clear and crisp. And lastly, the price. I think the price is really competitive. I found it online on a website called tech.co.za for about 1,400 Rand. I also found it on Takealot for 2,100 Rand. So I don't know which one's closer to the suggested retail price. I'll try and find that out for you guys. But if it's in about the 1.4 range, then I think this is a steal. This is a great little gem for that price range. The cons. Yeah, there aren't too many cons on this microphone. It's more me being nitpicky and just thinking of the longevity of someone who wants to try and use this professionally. But the first thing I have to say is I feel like the low end drops off a little bit too early. This microphone has a more prominent high end, but if you've got a deep voice or if you're doing work that requires a deep bassy voice, you're going to have a hard time getting that out of this microphone. So that's a tiny little drawback. Our next little thing, and this comes down to the sort of longevity and the professionalism, is you can only record in 16-bit depth, which doesn't give you a heck of a lot of headroom as opposed to if you could record in 32-bit. This also affects you when it comes to working with professionals or professional studios, is not being able to send 32-bit could be a little bit of a drawback. Next up, I'll talk about the cardioid pattern, and this is not a big thing for voice artists. I think it's great that this is a cardioid microphone. I feel like they've shot themselves in the foot a little bit, not giving you one or two options, but yeah, that's just being pernickety. So the next one of the cons that we're going to talk about today is probably my only deal breaker for this microphone or this microphone kit, and that's basically the lack of a shock mount. This microphone doesn't have a shock mount on the original stand, and then once you mount it here, again, it's directly connected to your boom arm, which is directly connected to your desk. So as you can see, as soon as you bump and that sort of thing, a shock mount would have at least helped that be less obvious. If you try to cradle this in a shock mount, a lot of shock mounts leave the front side of the microphone open and then they have contact at the back. You won't be able to access any of these controls here, or it might just not sit nicely in a shock mount cradle. So you might need to just go around shopping and find one that works with this microphone. I haven't shopped around yet or anything, so I don't know if there's anything out there, but that might be just something that you want to keep in mind. Otherwise, you're just going to have to be super careful and not bump your desk. Last but not least, and this is just me being super stupid, is that you leave your fingerprints everywhere. This is just a gripe with matte black tech in general. It's not a big thing. It's just more like OCD-ness, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a review of the Fifine K678, and I have to say, overall, I think it's a fantastic little microphone. For the price point, you're given a heck of a lot of control and lots of options, and the build quality, I mean, I don't need to say it again. It is fantastic. With that said, I got to wrap this show up. Let me know in the comment section what other tech you would like reviewed, and I will try my best to get on that. But for now, my name is Timber Robin. This has been Sketchy Tech, and it has been a pleasure voicing with you.
Audio Jungle.